The Baltimore Ravens 110% choked this game away, and we're going to break down every single situation, the terrible mistakes, the mental errors, and why it was just absolutely abysmal on the Ravens' behalf. The first choke that I want to point out is by the coaching, specifically the offensive coordinator. The Baltimore Ravens, between all of their plays, ran 37 pass plays and 16 rushing plays. The whole game, they ran the ball 16 times. And the dumbest part about this is I feel like that is the offensive coordinator way overthinking and trying to go big galaxy brain on the game plan, where he's like, oh, they're going to expect us to run. That's how they're going to game plan for us. So we need to just put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands to drop back 37 times instead of run the damn ball. And the problem with that game plan is Lamar Jackson is at his best when other teams' defenses have to respect the run at the highest level. We're talking putting 8 guys in the box because Lamar Jackson is such a threat in the run game that you have to try to stop it. And then you throw the ball to keep him honest on the backside. Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback. I don't want to have the discussion about whether or not he's good or not. But what we can all agree on is if you're going to ask Lamar Jackson to throw the ball 37 times against a great pass defense team, and quite honestly, you could say the Kansas City defense is probably the best defense in the NFL against the pass. You're asking Lamar Jackson to dice him up, and that's just not going to happen. And what makes Lamar Jackson great is when he can run the ball. So the game plan right off the bat, they way overthought it. It was absolutely stupid. That's a choke job on the coaches. They did not put their players in the best position to win. Now let's look at the gameplay. Just going through the mental mistakes and the choke job that the Ravens did. This first play I want to show you is the one of the 2 or 3 big plays that the Ravens actually had on offense. Lamar Jackson drops back. Zay Flowers is wide open. Okay, I'm pausing it here because I just want to also point out, if Lamar Jackson has the arm strength to hit this guy in stride, that's a touchdown. But the ball is so severely underthrown, he has to come back and get it, which gives the defense an opportunity to come up and make a play, which they do. Still a great play. You're probably your biggest pass play of the entire game that you were able to pull off. That right there is so stupid. This is a mistake you can't make in the AFC Championship game. So if you notice, Zay Flowers gets tackled, and the defender is holding his leg. You can see it. You can see it in his right arm. He's got his leg pinned in his arm. So it's excessive. He needs to let go. So Zay Flowers gives him a shove, but then stands up and spins the ball on him. And here's the thing, whether or not you agree with the NFL cracking down on this rule, it is a rule that they've been cracking down on. You can't deny that this has been getting called for the last 2 or 3 years. The taunting calls where you are standing over the defender, flexing on him, they call it every time. That has not changed. This is the AFC Championship game. I know he's a rookie, but that's a mental mistake. That's a mental error, and that's choking because you're not being smart enough in big situations to not get a flag thrown on you. This basically cost you a touchdown. That's a touchdown. They're within 10 yards of the end zone. They're probably going to score. But now they're moving it back 15 yards because you want to stand up and flex on somebody. Now, the defender did hold his leg a little bit longer. So I think the refs would have let this go if he just shoved him off. They were probably going to let that go. But if you stand up and flex on him and spin the ball, they're going to call that 100% of the time. That's a stupid mistake to make with a chance to go to the Super Bowl on the line. I put this play in here because I felt like this was another massive mental mistake. Again, physical errors, especially in the NFL, it sucks, but you can live with them. It's the mental stuff that you can't live with. You should, that's something you can control. That's one of the few things you can control. And Clowney decides to put the crown of his helmet into the freaking chin of Patrick Mahomes on a play where the ball's already been out. Now, he has a right to at least put his hands on him here and get him to the ground. But you're smarter than that. You have to be. You're in the NFL. There's no way you're that unaware of your head placement. He put the crown of his helmet into the dude's chin. Again, if you want to say the NFL is soft and this is a weak rule, that's fine. But you cannot disagree that it has been called all year and for the last like 4 or 5 years. You have to be smarter than that. You got to be more situationally aware. Again, that's something you can control. That's the kinds of things that makes you choke away a game that you probably had a good chance to win. So he gets roughing the passer on that. Next play I want to show, another massive mental mistake. Fourth quarter, less than 7 minutes left, well within field goal range. It's a 10-point game. You have to come away with points. It is more important here to just get points over anything else. Anything to make it a one-possession game is all you need. There's plenty of time left. You have all 3 of your timeouts. The ball and possession is more important than anything else on the field, and he should know this. Lamar Jackson decides to throw a home run ball into triple coverage. This basically was the dagger. This is game over. It's over. You can't make that mistake. I don't know what is going on in Lamar Jackson's head, but that's a choke job. That's a choke job. When you make a mistake like that in a big situation, that's a mental mistake, not so much a physical one. That's a stupid decision to throw that football there. That's a choke job. And Lamar Jackson, I heard somebody compare him, and this is a perfect comparison. I did not come up with this. I'm trying to remember who it was. Some sports analyst. It might have been Chris Broussard. I'm trying to remember. Lamar Jackson is the perfect opposite to Eli Manning. Lamar Jackson in the regular season is like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. I cannot believe how good this guy is. Definitely an elite top 2, maybe top 3 QB in the league right now. Elite Hall of Fame status. And then the playoffs start. And he does dumb shit like this that he hasn't really done all year. Why are you throwing this ball in the triple coverage when you just need points? You just need a field goal. He's a perfect opposite to Eli Manning, because Eli Manning was in the regular season. You're like, what's wrong with this guy? He can't throw a good deep ball. He's not athletic. He can't get outside the pocket. And his arm talent's just like, eh. And then you get in the playoffs, and Eli Manning turns into a goddamn warrior, decision-making perfection on the football field. Knows when it's a good time to gamble, when is it not. Makes elite QB throws. The only guy to beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. That's the perfect opposite of what Lamar Jackson is. The playoffs start, the big moments happen, and it's like, what are you doing? I don't know what he saw down the field here. I mean, there's no way that when you're throwing in the triple coverage like this, that this guy was ever open. He was never open. And it wasn't even like he threw it to the back of the end zone where either the receiver catches it or it's out of bounds. He underthrew the receiver too. Just terrible mistake. Now, I also put this play in here because as much as the Ravens choked, I do want to give massive credit to the Chiefs. I think it's fair to say, even though maybe people have been saying it, but I haven't been seeing it, I think the Chiefs absolutely have the best defense in the NFL. And it really showed in this game. And this is the play right here that makes me think that the Chiefs are unbeatable. And unfortunately, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl again, because when you have a defense that can make plays like this, that's elite. That's like Legion of Boom, Cam Chancellor status, punching the ball out last minute. And this is a conscious effort. This wasn't like a lucky, he was just getting his arm around to make a tackle last second. He consciously went in for the ball as hard as he could with his right side. He runs in and pow, boom, gets it out. Perfect hand placement. He had maybe half a yard to the goal line when he punched this out. That's beautiful football. That's an amazing defensive play. All the people that are saying that this is on the receiver, Zay Flowers, and that he needs to get shit on for this. Any guy that was a wide receiver in this position is probably going to get this ball punched out when he's reaching for the goal line like that. This is 10 out of 10 elite defense. That's what this was. This was not a mental mistake as much as you want to say it is. This was elite defense. And unfortunately, I think the Chiefs have the best defense in the NFL and they have the entire season. And that's probably what's going to propel them to win a Super Bowl. Because when you got a team that can make plays like this on defense, there's not a whole lot you can do to stop it, my friends. There's not a whole lot except run the damn football. They could have tried that. It looked like the Bills, when they played the Bills, were running the football all over them. And maybe that's just because that was the way the personnel had to be set up for that game and they played the Bills differently than they played the Ravens, maybe. But the Ravens cannot drop back to pass 37 times with Lamar Jackson and only run the ball 16 times. It's not who you are. That's not your identity. I don't care how much they're game planning for it. People can put 8 guys in the box against this Ravens team and they could probably still run the fucking ball. So why didn't you? Ravens fans, there's going to be tons of hate on Lamar Jackson. He's still an elite top 3, at least QB. He's going to win MVP. They just need to they need to accept what his identity is and understand you're not going to have, you should not ever be asking him to drop back 37 times against a great defense like this, especially. Just focus on your identity and what you can do well and perfect it. So if at any point you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It is the #1 way to support my page. It is 100% free. It will always be 100% free. I appreciate your time and I'll see you guys in the next one.